All right, so we're diving into the Maltese Falcon today.
Oh, yeah.
And I think most people have probably heard of it.
Definitely.
Maybe even seen the movie with Bogart.
Oh, a classic.
But we're going to go a little deeper
We are.
than just like the surface level.
Sounds good.
And
Yeah.
try to understand why this book
Okay.
is considered such a big deal in detective fiction.
Right.
And why it still resonates with people today.
Yeah, great idea.
And what's kind of cool about this
What's that?
is that we're actually using another podcast episode about the book.
Oh, interesting.
That's our jumping off point.
A deep dive into a deep dive.
Exactly.
Wow.
So you get like double the insight here.
Layered insights.
Yeah.
It's like we're uncovering the secrets behind the secrets.
I like that.
So this book,
Yeah.
Maltese Falcon,
Yeah.
it's been called a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
And for good reason,
Yeah.
it really elevated this genre of pulp fiction into something so much more sophisticated.
So speaking of pulp,
Yeah.
this book was set in the 1930s in America.
Right.
Right.
Right in the middle of the Great Depression.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was prime time for escapist stories.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People were
Yeah.
desperate for a break from reality,
Totally.
and Pulp Fiction gave them that,
Yeah.
those cheap thrills.
Yeah, those little...
But the Maltese Falcon went beyond that.
Okay.
It actually captured
Hmm.
the anxiety and uncertainty of the time. It was
Yeah.
almost mirroring the feeling that the world was just teetering on the edge.
Right, like on the brink of collapse.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got this really gritty setting,
Yeah.
and it's a really desperate time.
Right.
What about the author?
Okay.
Dashiell Hammett.
Dashiell Hammett.
What do you think
Yeah.
sets him apart from like all the other pulp writers at the time?
Unlike most of those writers
Yeah.
who were just churning out stories,
Yeah.
Hammett had this really unique background.
Okay.
He was a former Pinkerton detective.
What? A real life detective?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which
Oh,
brought a
that's-
real sense of realism.
No wonder
Yeah.
his books feel so authentic.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess that also kind of explains
Yeah.
why his most famous character,
Yeah.
Sam Spade,
Yeah.
is so different from
Yeah.
the typical detective hero.
You're right on the money there.
Yeah.
Spade's cynical,
Right.
he's pragmatic,
Yeah.
and he lives in this world of moral grays. He was like
Yeah.
one of the first anti-heroes in detective fiction.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely not a knight in shining armor.
So, I mean, how did people back then
That's a good question.
react
Yeah.
to a character like that?
Right.
I mean, were they ready for a detective
Yeah.
who wasn't like squeaky clean?
It's a fascinating question because
Yeah.
remember, this was a time
Yeah.
when heroes were typically
Right.
morally upright.
Yeah.
So Spade's cynicism and that willingness to bend the rules,
Yeah.
it was pretty shocking for the time.
Yeah. So Hammett was really challenging the idea of what a hero should be.
Exactly.
Wow. And his writing style, too.
Yeah.
I've heard it described as lean and precise,
Yeah, very much so.
which seems
Yeah.
like a total departure from a lot
Oh,
of the,
over the top.
yeah, prose of a lot of pulp fiction.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
just stripped away all that melodrama
Ah.
and focused on
Right.
sharp dialogue,
Okay.
vivid descriptions,
Yeah.
and a pace that just keeps you hooked.
Yeah.
He basically single-handedly transformed pulp fiction
Wow.
into a literary art form.
So we've got this gritty setting,
Uh-huh.
this really rule-breaking detective,
Yeah.
this writer who's a master
Yeah.
of atmosphere and suspense.
Right.
So set the scene for us.
Okay. Well,
Well, what kind of story?
it all starts
Yeah.
with a case that seems simple.
Okay.
This beautiful woman hires Spade
Uh-huh.
to find this statuette,
Yeah.
this elusive Maltese Falcon.
Oh, okay.
But things take a dark turn very quickly.
Of course.
Spade's partner gets murdered.
Oh, no.
There's double-crossing,
Oh, my God.
hidden motives.
Oh.
Everyone seems to be after this mysterious bird.
It's like the classic noir setup.
It is.
Yeah. So
Oh, what really makes this story stand out from all the others?
one of the most striking themes is this lack of loyalty.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone in this world
Uh-huh.
is looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
Alliances shift constantly.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty bleak
Yeah.
view of human nature.
like-
a reflection of
Right.
the Depression itself.
Exactly.
Right.
Where survival meant
Yeah.
putting yourself first.
Yeah. And your needs.
Yeah.
But it's not just survival.
It's not. There's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
intense greed that drives everything.
Yeah, the Maltese Falcon itself.
Exactly.
This seemingly worthless statuette.
Yeah, it becomes this symbol
Wow.
of everyone's deepest desires.
Oh, wow.
And they're willing to betray and even kill to possess it.
Oh, God.
But as you get deeper into the story,
Okay.
you realize that the Falcon isn't what it seems.
Oh, really?
And neither are the characters.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So there's this constant sense of deception.
There is.
Yeah.
Nothing is what it appears to be.
And that ties into that moral ambiguity
It does.
you were talking about before.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah. Okay.
There are no clear-cut heroes or villains. Even Spade, our protagonist,
Yeah.
he's not afraid to operate in the shadows.
Yeah.
He lies.
Wow.
He manipulates.
Gosh.
Makes decisions
Yeah.
that are ethically questionable.
This is where I think it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Especially like if we try to think about applying this to our world today.
Right.
You know, we live in a time where
Exactly.
right and wrong,
Yeah.
the lines are so blurred.
Yes, totally.
Do you think that makes a character like Spade
I think so.
even more relevant now?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
It seems like we're really drawn to characters who defy those easy categorizations.
Yeah.
You know, characters who reflect the complexities of
Yes.
our own moral compass.
Okay. So we've established that this book is a game changer.
It is.
It's got this morally ambiguous hero.
Yeah.
And it explores greed and betrayal. But then there's this famous scene
Right.
where the Falcon's finally revealed.
Yes.
Can you tease us with happens without giving too much away?
Let's just say
Okay.
that when the Falcon's unveiled, everything changes.
Oh, wow.
It's a turning point
Yeah.
that forces Spade
Mhm.
to confront his own values
Yeah.
and make a decision that has huge consequences.
Okay.
And his choice
Yeah.
is far from simple.
Yeah.
It really raises questions about justice
Yeah.
and the price we're willing to pay for it.
Oh, now I'm even more intrigued.
Yeah,
It sounds like this scene's crucial
it is.
to understanding the book's deeper meaning.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's take a step back
Okay.
for a second
Yeah.
and look at the impact
Okay.
that this book had.
Okay.
I mean, it was a smash hit
Oh,
when
yeah.
it was published.
Absolutely. It
Oh.
was a critical and commercial success.
Yeah.
It instantly catapulted Hammett to literary stardom.
Wow.
Yeah, but its influence goes
Yeah.
way beyond sales figures. This book
Okay.
redefined the genre.
Right.
It paved the way
Wow.
for what we call noir today.
So the Maltese Falcon
Yeah.
wasn't just a good story.
It wasn't.
It was like a turning point
a turning point.
in how we tell these stories.
Exactly.
What kind of legacy do you think it left behind?
A massive one. It
Yeah.
popularized
Yeah.
the flawed, morally ambiguous detective,
Yeah.
which has become
Yeah.
a staple of modern storytelling.
It's incredible to think that a book
Yeah.
published in 1930
Yeah.
can still have such a hold
I know.
on storytelling.
It's amazing.
It really makes you wonder,
Sure is that.
are these themes
Yeah.
of greed,
Uh-huh.
betrayal,
Yeah.
moral ambiguity
Right.
even more relevant in our world now?
That's a question worth exploring.
Yeah.
And it leads us to another fascinating aspect of the Maltese Falcon's legacy.
Okay.
It's adaptability. It's been adapted so many times,
Oh, yeah.
but there's one that really stands out.
Okay.
The 1941 film
Yeah.
starring Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, yes, the movie that really cemented the Maltese Falcon
Yes,
in, like, pop culture.
exactly.
But before we dive into that,
Okay.
let's have a little fun
All right.
with a little trivia.
I like trivia.
Yeah.
All right.
So the podcast episode that we're using
Yeah.
as a source
Right.
had some really interesting questions about the book.
Okay. Shoot.
Ready to test your knowledge.
question. Okay.
First question.
Yeah.
What was the original magazine that serialized the Maltese Falcon?
Oh.
Think back
Okay.
to those gritty
All right.
pulp magazines
Yeah.
of the 1930s.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, we'll reveal the answer.
Yeah.
And a few other
Okay.
trivia questions
Yeah.
in the next part of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
So make sure you stick around.
Okay.
Because there's much more
Sounds good.
to uncover
Okay.
about this iconic book.
I'm ready. All right. Well, I've been thinking about that trivia question.
Okay.
Could it be Black Mask?
You nailed it.
Really?
Black Mask was
Well
this
done.
legendary pulp magazine.
Yeah.
And that's where the Maltese Falcon first appeared.
Wow.
before it became the novel we know and love today.
So it started as a serial in Black Mask.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about how this story that became so influential started out in a publication that was known for being pretty disposable entertainment.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That makes the Maltese Falcon so remarkable. It really transcended its origins and elevated the entire genre.
Yeah.
It's like finding a diamond in the rough.
Definitely. It makes you wonder if even Hammett himself knew that he was creating something truly special.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens.
Yep.
Oh.
Ready for the next trivia question?
Hit me.
All right. This one's about the Falcon itself.
Oh.
What is that mysterious statuette actually made of in the book?
Most people think it's covered in jewels, right?
I would think so.
But it's actually made of gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Covered in black enamel.
So it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly.
The Falcon itself represents that theme of deception.
It does.
We've been talking about.
Yeah, it's just like the characters in the book were initially drawn to it for its supposed value, its outward appearance.
Right.
But the truth is hidden beneath the surface.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how the Falcon becomes this symbol.
It really is.
For all the complexities of the story.
Yeah, it's like a mirror to the characters themselves.
Which brings us to our final trivia question.
Okay, let's hear it.
This one's about a really famous line from the book.
Okay.
The one that I think really captures that allure of the unknown.
Okay.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Oh, yeah.
Which character utters those words?
Such a poetic line.
Yeah,
it really sums up the power the Maltese Falcon has over all the characters. The one who speaks those words is Sam Spade.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense that Spade, this cynical but strangely romantic figure, would be the one to kind of encapsulate what the Falcon represents.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He understands that allure of chasing something, even if it turns out to be an illusion.
And that's what makes that line so powerful.
It is powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
It works on different levels.
Yeah.
On the surface.
Yeah. It's about the Falcon's material value.
Yeah.
You know, the greed it inspires.
Right.
But on a deeper level, it speaks to that human need for something to believe in.
Oh, wow.
Even if that belief is based on a lie.
So in a way, the Maltese Falcon isn't just a detective story.
Right.
It's a story about...
A story about the human condition.
Yeah, it's about
our desires and the lengths we'll go to achieve them.
Which brings us back.
It does.
To that question we posed earlier.
Yeah.
How would this story play out in today's world?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, would we be chasing literal statuettes?
I don't know.
Or are there
modern
day equivalents
of the Maltese Falcon?
Of the Maltese Falcon.
They we're all striving for.
Yeah. Imagine what the Maltese Falcon would represent today.
Right. Would it be?
Would it be fame?
Fame, fortune?
Fortune?
Yeah.
Maybe even something less tangible.
Okay.
Like social media validation. Or the perfect online persona.
And who would be the players
in
this modern day game of deception?
That's a good question.
I could see like tech moguls.
Oh, yeah.
Social media influencers.
Social media influencers. Definitely politicians.
Politicians for sure.
All vying for their own versions of the Falcon.
Absolutely. Just think about the lengths people go to for those things.
Yeah.
The betrayals.
Manipulations.
The manipulations.
The moral compromises.
The moral compromises.
Crazy.
Yeah. In a way, Hammett was writing about something that's even more relevant today than it was in his time.
Yeah. It's almost like he predicted our obsession.
Like he was a prophet of our time.
And with chasing these elusive symbols of success and happiness.
Yeah. That's the mark of a truly great writer, isn't it?
Yeah, to create a story.
To create a story.
That transcends its time.
That transcends time.
And place. And continues to resonate with audiences.
Like it resonates.
Generations later.
Generations later.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Thank you.
But before we get too deep into that, let's swing back to the 1940s.
All right.
And talk about that iconic film adaptation.
Let's do it.
The one with Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade.
Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade.
How did that movie?
No, it's a masterpiece in its own right.
Yeah.
It really captured
Yeah.
The essence of Hammett's novel.
Okay.
That dark atmosphere, the sharp dialogue,
yeah,
the moral ambiguity.
Yeah, and Bogart's portrayal of Spade.
Iconic.
Yeah.
It became the definitive interpretation.
I've always been fascinated by how that film uses light and shadow to create this sense of mystery.
It's beautiful.
It's like you're stepping right into the pages of the book. And the film noir style.
Yeah.
With its low-key lighting
right.
and stark compositions.
The stark composition.
Became synonymous with the Maltese Falcon.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting how a visual medium like film can enhance and reshape our understanding of a story.
You know, it's a little bit ironic.
It is.
We're talking about a book that started out in a pulp magazine.
Yeah. This form of entertainment that was considered disposable.
Almost forgettable.
Almost forgettable.
And yet it became the basis.
Yeah, all right.
For one of the most enduring and influential films.
It's incredible.
Of all time.
Yeah.
It speaks to the power of a great story. And to that enduring appeal of themes like greed, deception, and that search for meaning in a world that can often feel meaningless.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
From the gritty streets of 1930 San Francisco.
Yeah, to the complexity of modern-day desires.
Like modern-day desires.
It's amazing how much there is to uncover.
It's amazing.
In the Maltese Falcon.
Yeah.
Even if you think you know the story.
Even if you think you know it.
Pretty well.
Yeah, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
I like that.
Yeah.
You think you've reached the core?
Yeah.
There's another layer, another perspective.
Well, we've reached the end of part 2 of our deep dive.
That's good.
But don't go anywhere.
No.
In part 3, we'll be exploring the book's lasting legacy.
And how it continues to influence storytelling today.
Sounds good.
And we'll leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
To ponder.
All right.
So stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the Maltese Falcon.
It's pretty remarkable how relevant this book still is.
Oh, totally.
Even though it was published almost a century ago.
I know, it's like
crazy.
Hammett tapped into something timeless about human nature, about like our desires and what we'll do to get what we want.
It's all there in the book.
Yeah.
All the dark stuff.
It really is. And it's interesting because the Maltese Falcon didn't just tell a good story.
No, it did more than that.
It created like a blueprint.
Yeah, like a template almost.
Like, for how to tell these kinds of stories.
It's like he created a whole new genre.
You're talking about like film noir.
Yeah, exactly.
That dark and shadowy.
Yeah, that classic stuff.
I see so much of today.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
But it's not just the visuals.
No, it's more than that.
Right.
It's the whole attitude.
Yeah.
The cynicism. Yeah. That feeling that nothing is what it seems.
It's like this constant sense of unease.
Yeah, like you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Okay, so the Maltese Falcon introduced this idea of moral complexity.
Right, those blurred lines.
Or good and bad aren't so clear-cut.
Exactly, like stepping into a world where everyone has a secret and nobody can be fully trusted.
It's Sam Spade.
Oh, yeah.
What a character.
Right, he's like the ultimate.
He's the blueprint for the modern anti-hero.
Yeah, think about all the detectives.
Yeah, or even like
cops.
Yeah.
Superheroes even.
Yeah, they all
kind of fit that mold.
They all owe something to Sam Spade. Tough, cynical.
Yeah.
But deep down.
Deep down.
Driven by
their own code.
Yeah, their own code.
Yeah.
It's amazing that a character from the 1930s.
I know, it's crazy.
Can still resonate with us.
Yeah, it really shows you how timeless some of these themes are.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what Hammett would think.
Right. If he could see
the
impact.
Of his creation.
His legacy.
Yeah. I mean, to think that a story about a cynical detective and a statuette shaped like a bird.
It's kind of a weird premise.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
This profound influence
but
on storytelling.
It really did.
Yeah. I think he'd be thrilled.
I think so too. Because he was always pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
Challenging conventions.
And he took a genre that was known for being...
Right, like pulpy.
Kind of predictable.
Forgettable.
Yeah.
And he turned it into something really artful.
And thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking.
And that's what makes the Maltese Falcon so... compelling.
It's more than just a detective story.
It's a story about...
It's about human nature.
Yeah, like that line.
Yeah, the stuff.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
And dreams are made of.
It's about so much more.
It is.
Than just a valuable object.
Yeah, it's about that relentless pursuit of something.
Whether it's wealth.
Yeah, wealth.
Power. Fame.
Even
just a sense of...
belonging.
That need to fit in.
Yeah, and it reminds us.
Right. That these pursuits can lead us down some pretty dangerous paths.
So if we were to reimagine
the
Maltese Falcon for today's world,
what would be the modern day equivalent?
What would be
of that statuette?
Yeah, what would people be willing to lie, cheat, betray?
Betray for today.
Yeah, what's the Maltese Falcon of today?
That's the $1 million question.
It is. I mean, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah, a social media empire.
Oh.
Yeah.
To a groundbreaking invention.
Yeah, some new technology that changes the world.
Yeah, or even something as intangible as viral fame.
Oh, totally. Like going viral.
And the players.
Yeah, who are the players?
In this modern day game of deception.
Tech moguls.
Oh, yeah.
Influencers.
Social media influencers.
Yeah, politicians.
All trying to vying for their own...
Get their hands on.
Versions of the Falcon.
The Maltese Falcon.
Almost.
Too easy to picture.
Too easy to picture. It's like Hammett.
He's like he predicted.
Yeah.
All of our modern obsession.
Our obsession with image status.
Yeah. And chasing these things.
The pursuit of something empty.
That often prove to be empty and fleeting.
Yeah, that's what makes this whole deep dive so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's not just about...
Right, it's not about
understanding...
summarizing the plot.
Yeah, a classic book. It's about using that book as a lens.
As a lens to examine...
To examine our own world.
Our own desires.
And the choices.
The choices we make.
That we make every day.
And ultimately, I think that's the greatest... legacy.
It is.
Of the Maltese Falcon.
It's not just a story.
Yeah.
It's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
It forces us.
It prompts us.
To ask those...
Ask ourselves.
Tough questions.
These tough questions.
About what we value.
Yeah, what we're willing to sacrifice.
What we're willing to sacrifice and what really matters in the end.
Yeah, if you haven't...
Yeah, if you haven't...
experienced the Maltese Falcon yet...
you're missing out.
I highly encourage you...
read the book.
To check it out.
Watch the movie. Whether you...
It's an experience.
Yeah, read the book.
You won't forget.
Watch the classic film adaptation.
Right, it's a journey.
It's a journey.
A journey into the dark side.
You won't forget.
Of human nature.
And as always...
yeah, we want to hear from you.
We love to hear.
What did you think?
Your thoughts.
What resonated with you?
Yeah, what resonated?
About the Maltese Falcon.
With you most about the Maltese Falcon.
How do you see...
and the themes.
Yeah, it's themes.
Connecting to...
connect to our modern world.
Kay's world.
Share your insights.
Yeah.
And keep exploring.
The
depths of knowledge.
Until next time.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.